Hello, my chicklets. Thank you for stopping by. I have started working on the celebration piece, but it is going to be long, so that is going to take me a bit of time. I'm hoping to get it out on the 1st of July, so hang tight with me. I'm very excited about it. In the meantime, let me read to you Fashion Show. This is dedicated to Alice, my beta reader for most of my stories, especially when I was first starting out with Sanderside's fanfic. The music blared from the speakers on the runway, and the lights flashed to the beat. Virgil fidgeted in the backstage area, fighting the urge to pick at his nails. This was the debut of his first ever fashion line. He wanted everything to be perfect. All of the outfits had been triple checked, all of the models had done a great job thus far. Everything was going fine. There were only 30 minutes left. Over the past few years, Virgil had spent all of his time studying to be a fashion designer. The first few had been hard. His parents didn't approve, and at one point, all he wanted to do was please his parents. Then he realized he spent too much time worrying about his parents, and it was just too much on his anxiety. Virgil couldn't help it. What little confidence he had summoned had drained from him, drop by drop. What if his parents had been right about him? What if he wasn't prepared for this? Virgil could hear the unmistakable clinking of him picking at his nails. He needed to stop. The last time he had indulged in this bad habit, he had broken a nail at the base, and it had been weeks before it stopped hurting. He had nothing to worry about. The show had been fantastic so far, but he needed a distraction. "You're all doing great." Virgil turned to some of the models who were getting on their last outfits. "Thank you all so much for making this a success." "The pleasure is ours." Virgil heard the dark, cool voice of Roman King. Roman was one of the most prolific models. He was more than just a model, though. Roman King ruled the celebrity spotlight, and though no one would mistake him for being humble, everyone knew he was kind. Virgil had been genuinely surprised when Roman not only agreed, but offered to be a model for his show. Virgil was still mostly unknown, so to have Roman as his focus model, it was a dream come true. This could literally jumpstart his career. Once again, Virgil was pulled from his thoughts by the sound of Roman's voice. His voice was melodic, like the sound of a deep church bell echoing through Virgil's ears. A shiver ran up his spine. "You are an amazing designer, Mr. Black. Getting to wear your designs is exciting." The way he rolled the last word on his tongue, he was too gay to handle this, though his anxiety spiked as a single thought crossed his mind. He's just messing with you. "I can never tell if you're being sarcastic with me, Princey." "Princey? I like it, though I would never be sarcastic with you. It would besmirch my honor." Roman was in the process of changing into a very tight-fitting outfit. It was the outfit that Virgil was the proudest of, and seeing it on Roman gave him a slight boost in confidence. He was the reason Roman had on something that suited his figure so well. The gold embellishments on the red fabric sparkled against his hair. "You look perfect." "Are you only saying that because I'm wearing your clothes?" Virgil looked up at him. The charming smile was going to be the death of him. "What? No." "So you think I would look perfect without my clothes on?" Virgil blushed. Roman couldn't help but smile at this. "I'll tell you a secret, Mr. Black." Roman leaned down to whisper in Virgil's ears. "I'm not as confident as I seem. Every time I go out there, I'm terrified I'll mess it up. But knowing that you're going to be watching me gives me a boost of confidence. Can you promise to keep your eyes on me? Can you be my confidence?" Virgil wanted to be smart, to give him a sarcastic remark, but all he could choke out was a weak "yes." Virgil could not see the smirk that weaseled its way onto Roman's lips. "You could reward me if I do well." His breath was so close to Virgil's neck. And what kind of reward would the great Roman King want from a budding designer like me? He barely was able to find his voice. "A date?" Virgil's face drained of all color as Roman went towards the runway, getting into position for his turn. A date? No, Roman was just doing this to fluster him. The model was just trying to distract Virgil from his anxiety. It worked, though. For a moment, he thought he had a chance with Roman. That was funny, even to him. Virgil relaxed with a smile as the show finished and he went out to answer questions and discuss his fall line. He was surprised by how well it had gone. As he returned backstage, he felt light. For once, he felt like he was on top of the world. The show had gone well. People seemed to be excited about his designs, and Roman had flirted with him. It was a good day. Virgil pulled out his phone, put his headphones in. He didn't see Roman, so his assumption had been right. The model had only been trying to make Virgil feel better about the show. That was considerate of him. Roman really was a nice person. Maybe somewhere, deep in his heart, Virgil was a little disappointed. He hadn't really been hoping for anything, but it would have been nice. Virgil started bagging up all of the outfits, making sure they were put away properly. I was hoping you would still be here in Nightmare on Emo Street. Virgil jumped at the sound of Roman. You're still here. I thought you would have left by now, Princey. Roman smirked. What did he have up his sleeve? Are you going to take off that outfit? I need to put it away with the rest of the collection. Maybe, but that depends. I thought I did pretty well during the show today, and I was hoping you would let me wear this on our date. Virgil felt a bit cornered, stuck between Roman and the clothes rack. He panicked. I don't remember actually agreeing to that. For a brief second, Roman's eyes fell, and Virgil felt guilty. But I'm not opposed to the idea. Just not in that outfit. You'll attract too much attention. Roman once again lit up. Well then, how about I get changed and help you clean this up? Only one rule. You aren't allowed to fall in love with me. I don't know if I can promise that, Roman chuckled. I'm already falling pretty hard. Virgil shook his head, letting out a shaky sigh. This man would be the death of him. He really would. Walking outside with Roman King by his side was probably not the smartest idea, especially after a fashion show. The paparazzi immediately swarmed around them, and Virgil's anxiety began to spike. He knew he would have to deal with the press at some point, but he didn't think there would be so many of them attempting to swarm him. He felt his chest tighten as he grabbed at the strap off his messenger bag. Breathe. He needed to breathe. I appreciate all of your love and admiration. That was the only voice that cut through the noise in Virgil's head. If you would like to contact my agent, I'd be happy to provide a few statements for everyone. But for now, I believe I have earned a nice dinner. What do you all think? Roman must have done something. Maybe it was just the words, but Virgil had a feeling there was more to it than that. Either way, he was thankful as photographers and reporters began to dissipate, a comforting hand resting on his shoulder. You doing okay, Dark and Stormy? Was he doing okay? He still felt like his skin was far too tight and his mind was buzzing with energy that he couldn't get rid of. But he didn't feel like he was suffocating anymore. Yeah. Just give me a moment. He just needed to take a few seconds to calm himself down. Virgil clung to his bag, feeling the texture of the strap while taking slow, deep breaths. This wasn't new for him, but it was helpful to have Roman chase the people off. Sorry about that. He finally got out when he had calmed down a bit more. It's no problem. Sometimes you need the quiet. My brother is similar in that respect. He needs time to himself or he explodes. Roman's voice was soft and gentle, despite the obvious enthusiasm behind his words. Sounds like a character. There was still the thrum of energy filling Virgil's veins, but it was sedated. He could push through it for dinner. So, ready? You promised me food, Princey. Are you still up for that? I could hardly call myself a gentleman if I ignored your plight. There are other options, or other dates. Virgil felt his face flush red. This was the second time Roman was trying to distract him with his romantic BS. Somewhere in his head, that might have offended him if Roman wasn't so damn good looking. Please, no one is that smooth. What? No one is that smooth or cool or just... Virgil gestured to Roman, letting out a groan before burying his head in his hands. Come on, Mr. Over-the-Top. You're going to buy me dinner and then discuss why it is that you want to date me of all people. Wait. Do you seriously not remember? Virgil's eyebrow rose as he looked at Roman. Don't remember what? Oh, you don't. Okay, let me... And now King was flustered. That was certainly a nice change. Roman was digging through his pockets, trying to find something. Dang it, I don't have it on me. Right. I don't want to lose it. His cheeks were almost as red as his lipstick. Can we go back to my room? Mr. King, I'm not that type of man, Virgil teased, and Roman immediately began to move his hands, an apology on his lips, but Virgil stopped him. Chill. I'm teasing, and I'm curious. Going somewhere quiet and private honestly might be better for his anxiety, and a whole flock of reporters had last seen Virgil with Roman, so he wouldn't try anything, right? Okay, yeah. He held at his hand. 1 car or 2? I was dropped off. My car, then. Lead on. Virgil took Roman's hand and was led to his car. It was a pleasant drive to Roman's hotel room. He'd come to stay for the fashion show and was intending on heading back to his mansion soon, which was probably the more important reason why Virgil shouldn't be getting his hopes up. Yet he couldn't help the flutter of hope. Roman was going out of his way to spend time with Virgil, even going so far as to make sure that they had a quiet place to eat. Feel free to order whatever you want from room service, and ask them to send the same for me while I find what I'm looking for. Virgil saluted him, walking over to the bed, pulling his bag off, but keeping it on his lap for comfort. This was a strange situation, right? But it was also a good one? He let out a shaky breath before calling for room service. The timing was perfect because, as he hung up the phone, Roman shouted, "Found it!" walking over to Virgil and handing him a picture. What? He looked down at the photo that had been thrust into his hands, and he suddenly remembered something that he had pushed back for so long. My first fashion show. Though he wasn't sure if he could really call it that. He'd gotten the idea to dress up some of his friends when he was little, and they all came out in different outfits. Where did you get this? Roman's smile was bright and beautiful. My mom took it. How? Wait. The man who exuded charm and class was now almost bouncing on the bed with excitement. Do you remember now? But no. Ro? What did you think Ro was short for? I don't know. I didn't give it much thought, but you moved away right after that. Yeah. Mom and Dad had been fighting, and Mom thought it was best we had a fresh start without him around. I kept the picture, though. You were always my favorite. How did you even remember me? Mom wrote your name on the back of the photo with everyone else's, and you were sort of my first love. Virgil once again blushed, gently pushing Roman a bit. But you're different now, and I would like to get to know the new Virgil Black. If you'll let me? Fine, he said with a blush. Fine, okay. He couldn't help but smile. But no more of this sappy stuff. I don't know that I can handle that. No promises. Like I said, I've already started falling hard. Thank you all for listening. Again, this was Fashion Show. I forgot how cute this story was, and I'm just sitting here blushing about how soft it is. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.